po si Hyacinth E. Peña, Grade 11 EBM student ng Etiagi National High School, Etiagi East District. Napakalaking tulong ang naibahagi ng Radyo Eskwela sa Isabela sa aming pag-aaral, sapagkat ito ang nagsilbing sandata namin upang harapin ang mga humahadlang sa aming pag-aaral. Ito rin ang nagtaguyod sa amin upang mapadali ang aming pag-aaral. Ang pagkakaroon ng advance at dagdag na kaalaman ay ang mga benepisyong hatid ng radyong ito. Nais kong magpasalamat sa mga mandirigma ng Radyo Eskwela sa Isabela sa napakahusay na pagtuturo at sa hindi pagpapabayang maiwanan kami sa larangan ng edukasyon. Patuloy po kaming sumusuporta at tumatangkilik. Muli, ako po si Hyacinth E. Peña, Grade 11 EBM student sa Radyo Eskwela sa Isabela. Patuloy ang edukasyon.
Senior High School On-Air Academy. Unstoppable! Delivering you quality education amidst pandemic.
To defend school opening to October 5.
Unstoppable!
Giving you accessible learning platform anytime, anywhere.
Ang klase, whatever form it is.
Comprehensible!
Buckle up and get yourself ready.
I will repeat, then you will do it later on.
Accurate!
The sphere that includes all living things.
Today, we will be talking about rational functions.
Simplify.
This is Jaw speaking. How may I help you?
This is Ed School Radio's Senior High School On-Air
On-Air
Academy.
And now, here's your new episode for English Exactly, your guide for the subject English for academic and professional purposes.
English exactly.
English Exactly.
Hello, grade 11 learners! Welcome to our School on Air in English for academic and professional purposes, brought to you by Senior High School Academy's English Exactly. Wow! We are now on the second episode of our subject. I am your radio teacher, Teacher Kat, reminding you to embrace the new normal and just be normal. Before we start, make sure to grab your pen, notebook, modules, or activity sheet. Be on your comfortable place and check if you have a clear broadcast signal so we can have a smooth flow of our discussion. Let us see if you read your materials at home. Are you ready?
Yes!
That's good! Let's recall our last topic by checking your answer in your quiz from the previous episode. Last time, I just let you to write the letter of your answer. So, listen carefully as I read each paragraph again. Then, check your answer if you got it correct. Be honest. Let's begin. Number 1. One New York publisher has estimated that 50,000 to 60,000 people in the United States want an anthology that includes the complete works of William Shakespeare. And what accounts for this renewed interest in Shakespeare? As the scholars point out, his psychological insights into both male and female characters are amazing even today. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter B. The last sentence in the paragraph clearly gives support for the idea that the interest in Shakespeare is due to the development of his characters. Number 2. One of the warmest winters on record has put consumers in the mood to spend money. Spending is likely to be the strongest in 13 years. During the month of February, sales of existing single-family homes hit an annual record rate of 4.75 million. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter C. This is clearly the best answer because the paragraph directly states that warm weather affects consumers' inclination to spend. It further states that the sales of single-family homes were at all-time high. Number 3. Generation X are those people born roughly between 1965 and 1981. As employees, Generation X tend to be more challenged when they can carry out tasks independently. This makes Generation X the most entrepreneurial generation in history. What is your answer? The correct answer is Letter B. Generation X like to work independently, which means they are self-directed. Number 4. If you are a fitness walker, there is no need for a commute to a health club. Your neighborhood can be your health club. You don't need a lot of fancy equipment to get a good workout either. All you need is a well-designed pair of athletic shoes. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter A. By stating that fitness walking does not require a commute to a health club, the author stresses the convenience of this form of exercise. The paragraph also states that fitness walking will result in a good workout. Number 5. In the past, consumers would rarely walk into an ice cream store and order low-fat ice cream, but that is not the case today. An increasing health consciousness combined with a much bigger selection of tasty low-fat foods in all categories has made low-fat ice cream a very profitable item for ice cream store owners. What is your answer? The correct answer for this item is letter C. This choice is supported as the best answer because the paragraph indicates that low-fat ice cream was once an unpopular item, but now, because consumers are more health-conscious and because there is a wider array of tasty low-fat foods, low-fat ice cream is a profitable item for ice cream store owners. Did you get all the answers correctly?
Yes!
Did you understand our lesson last time?
Yay!
Are you going to use these for future reference?
Yes!
That's great! Now, we shall be having another fun learning engagement in this subject. Are you ready to learn more?
Oh yeah!
This time in our next lesson, you will take part in a larger debate by stating your arguments and proposed course of action. Interesting and challenging, right?
Yes!
Are you ready? Before that, let's hear a short reminder brought to us by the Department of Education.
Tayo na sa Radyo Eskwela.
Tayo na!
Hey CJ, why are you not wearing your face mask here in the market?
It's alright. I won't go out of town anyway, so I can still be COVID-free. Besides, my father said only those who are in the city have a greater chance of being infected with the virus.
What? Haven't you heard from the news that we must wear a mask whenever we need to go out? The Department of Interior and Local Government has issued a memo on mandatory wearing of face masks or other protective equipment in public places nationwide. Did you also know that surgical masks can give us with 95% protection from viruses while 80% from bacteria? Here, I have an extra.
Oh, I see. Thanks for this. I'm going home now to share to my parents the important news you've told me.
This is a friendly reminder from the Department of Education and this station.
I am back. Please bear with me because we are about to start our discussion. In everyday life, people take sides and form opinions on anything that involves them. However, defending your point by simply saying, "because I think so," won't help you make a case. Actually, when we face an issue and are challenged to make a stand, it is necessary for us to support it with logical arguments. It is therefore important that you learn how to properly outline your thoughts and make valid arguments. That is why you are here to learn how to defend a stand on an issue by presenting reasonable arguments supported by properly cited factual evidence. So, are you ready?
Oh yeah!
Now, try to reflect on this question. Which would you follow? The decision that your mind is saying, or the choice that your heart is dictating? In this case, whichever your choice, you have to defend it with reasonable arguments and factual evidence. Did you get it?
Yes!
Every now and then, we find the need to take a stand on an issue. Sometimes, we used to think these. How do we defend this stand? How do we convince others about the soundness of our position? What are these logical fallacies? Why is there a need for you to be familiar with it? Take note, my dear students, logical fallacies are errors in reasoning that invalidate an argument. So, as a critical thinker, you have to identify and examine fallacies and manipulative language. Therefore, it is important that you know some of the common fallacies. Here are some examples of logical fallacies. Letter A, false dilemma. This occurs when an arguer presents his or her argument as one of only two options despite the presence of multiple possibilities. Example, either you fully devote yourself to company or you quit. Letter B is appeal to ignorance. This occurs when something is instantly concluded to be true just because it is not proven to be false and vice versa. Example, the writer does not talk about the connection between the victim's killer and his sister, so there must be none. Letter C is complex question. This occurs when two or more points are rolled into one and the reader is expected to accept or reject both at the same time when one point may be satisfactory while the other is not. Example, have you stopped cheating on exams? Letter D is appeal to force. This occurs when a threat instead of reasoning is used to argue. Example, if you do not admit that evolution is not real, we will isolate you from the group. Letter E is appeal to pity. This occurs when the element of pity is used instead of logical reasoning. Example, please do not fire me for being absent all month. I have a sick mother and a special child to support. Letter F, appeal to consequences. This occurs when unpleasant consequences of believing something are pointed out to show that the belief is false. Example, we can't believe that colonialism is bad because if it were, then we would not be civilized. Letter G is bandwagon. This occurs when an argument is considered to be valid because it is what the majority thinks. Example, most Filipinos want to have fair skin because they think they look beautiful. Therefore, having fair skin must be the real standard of beauty. Letter H, attacking the person. This occurs when someone tries to refute an argument by attacking the character of a person instead of attacking the ideas of the argument. Example, I cannot accept your argument because, unlike me, you were not educated at Harvard University. Letter I is appeal to authority. This occurs when the argument quotes an expert who is not qualified in the particular subject matter. Example, Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft, recommends the effective fabric softening properties of Downy fabric softener. Letter J, anonymous authority. This pertains to the authority in question which is not mentioned or named. Example, experts claim that eating peanuts causes pimples. Are you still there? Can I hear an applause? Alright, let's continue our discussion. Please bear in mind, do not use those kinds of logical fallacies when you defend your stance because using those may weaken your arguments. Okay?
Yes.
So, what are the things that you have to do in order to refrain from these fallacies? Aha! Let us now study the factors on authenticity and validity of evidences or information. While there is a wealth of information found in various sources electronically or non-electronically, you should also keep in mind that not all of these pieces of information are accurate, relevant, valid, or credible. Hence, It is important to evaluate sources of information that you plan to include in your academic writing venture. Take note, there's always a risk that the sources taken from the internet or anywhere else have biased or incorrect information. So, you have to evaluate and filter your sources before using them. The following are some of the criteria in assessing whether the source is suitable to use for academic purposes. The criteria include relevance, authority, currency, content, and location of sources. First, relevance of the source. Question that needs to ponder here is, how well does the source support your stand? You can check the title, table of contents, summary, and introduction or headings of the text to have a sense of its content. Second is authority or author's qualification. Questions that need to ponder here are, is the author's name identified? Is the author's background, education, or training related to the topic? If the source does not have an author, think twice before using it. Remember, legitimate academic texts must include citations. Citations demonstrate that the writer has thoroughly researched the topic and is not plagiarizing the material. The third one is currency or date of publication. Question that needs to ponder here is, what is the date of publication? In most fields, the data from the older publications may no longer be valid. As much as possible, the date of publication should be 5 years earlier. The fourth one is contents or accuracy of information. Question to ponder here is, does the author have a lot of citations in his or her text and or bibliography or works cited section? You do not want to use source that is disputable, so make sure to verify your findings with principal sources. And the last one is location of sources. Questions to ponder are, where was the source published? Was it published digitally or in print? Is it a book, an academic journal, or a reputable news source such as www.newyorktimes.com or www.economist.com? Does it provide complete publication information such as authors, editors, title, date of publication and publisher? What is the URL of the website? Avoid using blogs or personal homepage and wiki sites such as Wikipedia, Dictionary, and wiki codes. If the URL includes the top-level domain .edu, then that means that it has been published by an academic institution such as university. Common URLs include .gov or government, .org or organizations, .com or commercial sites, and .net or network infrastructures.
Wow!
In academic writing, reputable sites are those with .edu, .gov, .net, and .org in URL. To strengthen the author's claims, there are pieces of evidence that you must know, like evidence from surveys, library research and experiments, evidence from informant interviews or those who have direct experience related to the problem or issue, and evidence from expert interviews. Always remember, aside from your claim or argument, you have to discuss counter-arguments. These are the arguments that oppose the stand. Are you ready?
Yes!
Alright, so let's now have our last topic, which is the presentation of reasonable arguments and factual evidences to defend the stand. Here, we will find out how we can present a reasonable side with a factual evidence in a certain issue. Wow! Here are the guidelines in presentation of reasonable arguments and factual evidence to defend a stand, and these are the CATLC. C. Contains a clear proposition or statement that must be defended. A. Assesses conflicting opinions or opposing views on the issue. T. Takes a firm stand on the issue. L. Lists arguments in an organized manner to defend the stand. And C. Consider your audience or reader. A friendly reminder, if nurses have TLC for tender love and care, then you have CATLC for guidelines in presentation of your arguments. Is it clear to you now? Oh yeah! That's great! We are just done with our discussion. So, are you now ready to do some activities? I believe you have the guts to do our activity. But I need to know if something was left in you. Let's do a recap of our lesson. Ready?
Yes!
First question. Do we need to use those kinds of logical fallacies when we defend a stand? No. We do not need to use those because those logical fallacies will make your arguments weak in defending your stand in a certain issue. Next question. What criteria to be used in assessing whether the source is suitable to use for academic purposes? Exactly. The criteria include relevance, authority, currency, contents, and location of sources are important in assessing whether the source is suitable to be used. Last question. Do we need to consider our audience or reader in presentation of reasonable arguments and factual evidences to defend a stand? Of course, yes. The audience or the reader has a vital role in certain argumentation like debate. I guess you are more than ready than I imagined. Did you ready your materials with you?
Yes!
Very good! Before we proceed to our activity, let us hear first this reminder.
Tayo na sa Radyo Eskwela.
Tayo na!
Be honest, even if others are not.
What are you singing? Is that Bruno Mars?
No, it's a jingle related to DepEd's Project Watch advocacy.
Watch?
Yes, watch means we advocate time consciousness and honesty. It aims to strengthen time consciousness and honesty, not only among teachers but also students.
Wow! Honesty, such a lonely world.
That's why there's Project Watch, to instill the importance of honesty even if others are untrue.
Oh well, you've got a point there. That's a brilliant project. Let's sing Jolina Magdangal's song then. Sing!
Laging tapat at laging totoo.
This information is from the Department of Education and this station.
Once again, we are back here at English Exactly, your guide in the subject English for academic and professional purposes. Let us now test your understanding of the lesson. Listen carefully to the question and write your answer on your answer sheet. I will only read the question once. Are you ready? Oh yeah! To see whether you really understood our lesson, I will let you answer this modified true or false activity. Here we go. Write T if the statement is true. If it is false, change the underlined word with the correct one. Number 1. Sources that are personal and editable such as blogs and Wikipedia are acceptable. The underlined word is acceptable. True or false? Number 2. Sources published online should always be used as reference. The underlined word is always. True or false? Number 3. Evidence from surveys, library research, and experiments can strengthen your argument. The underlined word is surveys. True or false? Number 4. Evidence from informant interviews or those who have direct experience related to the problem or issue is acceptable. The underlined word is acceptable. True or false? Number 5. The criteria for assessing whether a source is suitable to use for academic purposes are relevance, authority, currency, contents, and references. The underlined word is references. True or false? Are you done answering?
Yes.
That's great! We will be checking your output in the next episode. In the meantime, I have to bid farewell to you, my dear learners. On behalf of our scriptwriter, Ma'am Melissa Joy T. Mariano and the SDO Isabela RBI production team, I am your radio teacher, Teacher Catherine Joy J. Apostol, reminding you that patience is the key to a successful tomorrow. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay pretty like me. Bye-bye!
Tayo na sa Radyo Eskwela.
Tayo na!
Patuloy ang edukasyon para sa ating henerasyon.
Sa daan ng pagkatuto ay walang may iwan.
Kaya halina sa Radyo Eskwela!